Hi everyone. This is a great little activity to try in order to understand how maps are distorted according to latitude. So the first thing you need to do is to create a new layer. Well, actually, I would switch the base map over to a grayscale or a dark gray canvas, just so that things sort of pop off the map a little bit better. So I'm going to switch it over to a light grayscale, and I'm going to pan out so that I can see the entire world. So I'm going to add a couple of push pins at strategic points of latitude. The 66.5 degrees north, around St. Catharines, which was about 42, 43 degrees, 0 degrees the equator, and then the same down in the southern hemisphere. So if I click on add map notes, so I'm going to click on measure. And when I click on this tool, it allows me to calculate the latitude. So right up on Ellesmere Island here, you'll see this second long fjord that goes in. And at the end of that fjord is Iwutuk National Park. It's about 66.5 degrees north. So that's my first pin. So I'm going to go over here, click on my push pin, and then click where that location is. I'm not going to give it a name. Well, I can. Let's give it a name. Let's go 66 north. And now I'll use my measure tool again. Right down here near St. Catharines. So it's about 42 or 43 degrees north. Now, we want the equator, which is right about here. This is where the Amazon River meets the ocean. So right about there is the equator. Now heading further south, it's a little bit trickier to find. So well south of Buenos Aires. And the last one, I'm going to have to move the map a little bit. Right on this long peninsula coming up from Antarctica. Right about here is 66 degrees south. You don't have to be exact, that's close. What we're going to do is create a buffer zone around each one of these points. We want the buffer to be 500 kilometers in diameter. So when I click on the analysis tool and then click on use proximity, I want to create a buffer. And I want it to be 500 kilometers in diameter. Now, typically you would perceive that each one of those circles will be drawn, in radius, I believe it is, the exact same size. But what you're going to notice is that's not going to be the case. Let's give the resultant layer an appropriate name. So for instance, distortion. And typically I would uncheck this use current map extent just to make sure that, if you don't have all the push pins on there, you can still see all of them. So I'm going to run the analysis. It's going to take a little while. It might take upwards of a minute or two if you're on a Chromebook. If you're on a laptop with a good connection, it might be a lot faster than that. And once it's completed, you'll see circles drawn around each one of the locations. So I'm just going to zoom in here. Take a look at the size of each circle. Remember that each circle is 500 kilometers in radius. What's going on here? Makes for a great discussion.